Hey everyone, I'm Zach and welcome to Tokenomix. Today we are going to be continuing our LaunchPad series, trying to find the best LaunchPad for you guys to invest your money in, and we will be discussing Synapse Network. So without further ado, let's get into it. Synapse Network began its life with a slightly different name. It was called Gemstarter at around about the end of March this year. Its main goal was to become a net level DeFi multi-chain platform that will make your crypto life easier, with features like crowdfunding, public and private sales, liquidity mining, staking, multi-chain swapping and much more. That was at least according to its website anyway. They opened their fundraising application about a month later on April 26th, which was a lot quicker than Seedify if we're comparing the two. They then had a plethora of partnerships with entities like Black Dragon, an investment group, Basket Coin and Fractal, which as a side note is doing a lot of KYC and AML for crypto projects. It's a London-based firm, so keep an eye out for them because they're definitely making waves. On May the 10th, they released a roadmap, which you can see here, and it looks great, and I must say they've hit a lot of those targets, but there aren't any dates, and I personally don't like that. Give me dates and deadlines and I can see how good you are at hitting targets. Then on the 5th of June, we had the rebrand to the Synapse Network, moving away from Gemstarter. And look at these two Tokenomix pie charts, you can see how they differ. The first one is a Gemstarter, and they were originally going to have a max supply of 50 million tokens, and whereas Synapse now has a max supply of 500 million. And it's pretty similar in fairness, but there's 2% more tokens being released with the Genesis event for the community pre-sale and the private sale B. Also, the public sale has a 50% token Genesis event and 10% per week for the 5 weeks after with Synapse. So that's creating a vesting, which means tokens aren't dumped on launch, which as we can see when we look at the chart later on, has it's done what it says on the tin. Their early stage community round was on the 15th, and it was also oversubscribed by multiple at 30x, which was absolutely awesome for the project, and there was like about 54,000 odd people trying to get involved. What Synapse Network seems to be doing, and is in my opinion its USP, is it's cross-chain rather than multi-chain, and it's trying to be chain agnostic. So according to them, this is going to be important to move the balance of the DeFi revolution away from just Ethereum or Binance and like having it agnostic to all places.
New blockchain implementations appear almost every day. The problem that is growing within the blockchain market is that each chain is a silo. There is no information exchange between the chains. So we have the same DeFi products on different chains. We have separate liquidity pools. We have separate DEXs. And to swap ETH to BNB, we need to make at least 3 transactions, which is taking us time and money. There is no unification, information exchange, and market consolidation. So cross-chain is about allowing you to swap ETH to Matic or to BNB in just one swap.
They launched also in Korea on July 26th and Turkey not long after, which shows that they're not just focusing on like English-speaking countries, and they're really trying to have a global reach. On the 11th of August, they also got a preliminary CertiK report where they were audited and they exceeded expectations, which I can only presume is good. When the data starts on the actual S&P token on the 26th, the price was 64 cents, the 26th of August. For the next month, it really held that range and it dipped to a low of 31 cents and is now about 45 cents. So if you manage to get in at any of the early rounds, which cost you 2 cents, 5 cents, 7 cents, 8 cents, you've pretty much minimum of 5x. And like at the best, like, you know, 20 odd, 22x. So I think there's lots of launchpads out there that like have tokens that are a lot more expensive and tier systems that are not geared towards the lower tiers. Synapse only has 2 tiers, and I'm going to go into them in greater detail now. Originally there was a different tier system to the one we have now on the Synapse Network. However, that was only for the Nakamoto Games launch, and like many of the launchpads I've covered, myself and Ian and Robin have covered, that they changed their tier system after a while. But this one for Synapse is definitely, the new one is definitely the simplest tier system. There's only 2 tiers, right? Those who have above 10,000 S&P tokens and those who have below 10,000 S&P tokens. So there's a linear incentive to buy more or restake your token, and you'll get a point per $100 of S&P tokens staked. Now for the facts and figures, I really want to give out a big shout out to my main man BA, who's part of our Telegram group. Our Telegram group is a great place where we try to help each other out. We try to find the best launch pads, the best NFT launches, the IDOs. The idea for this series came from there, and I'd really encourage everyone to come over, say hello, join our Telegram. And I'd also really appreciate if you could give this a nice like and a subscribe, because it really helps with the YouTube algorithm, and we want to give you the best quality content that we possibly can and have the greatest reach that we can. So here we can see out of the 4 projects that have recently launched on Synapse, they have a minimum return on investment of 5x at current prices, with Decentralweb doing the best with a private sale of 10 cents and a current price of $1.91. Getting precise figures is hard, but BA has been staking $10,000 worth of S&P tokens, and he usually gets around $200 per project to buy, and sometimes getting allocations up to $300, which was the case with Decentralweb. So let's look at this. $300 worth of tokens bought at 10 cents gives you 3,000 Decentralweb tokens. At a current price of $1.91 gives you $5,730 at this point in time for your $300 invested. Now you also have to take into account the vesting schedule, which was 10% at launch, 1 month cliffed, and then the rest over 4 months, and you've staked $5,000 or $10,000 worth of S&P. And to be honest, I think this is not too bad at all when you think of like the tiers in like BSE pad, which are super geared towards the whales, and C2Fi, which is super expensive to get into now. It's like $5 a token. I think this is one of the best launch pads. However, we need to have more transparency, because I've heard theories that if you hold 9,999 S&P tokens, you're the big dog in tier 1, whereas if you own 10,000, you're the small dog in tier 2, so you're better off. I'm not 100% sure how that works, but there's theories floating around and we need more transparency, right? What I will say is Synapse Network, the token is still quite relatively cheap at 46 odd cent at this point in time, and they're trying to bring a lot more utility to the ecosystem than just being a launch pad, right? So this gets a Zayabisha from me. I want to thank you all very much from getting to the end of this video, and if you wouldn't mind, just leave a little rocket emoji just in the comments, because that would really help with the algorithm. I'm Zach, this is Tokenomix, I'm out. Thanks very much. Boop.